Hi everybody, so I got a request to do a tutorial with MAC Royal Wink, which this is what I came up with. This is, obviously you could do different things with this. You can use it as a liner with any look that you want. Personally, I like this. I feel like this is a backdrop for it that really showcases the blue. I use the Stila in the light palette, and we will jump right into the tutorial. So I'm going to start with the Stila in the light palette, and I'm going to take Kitten, which is this top shade here, and I'm going to take Bubbly down here, which is a flat brush, and I'm going to go in with Kitten first, and I'm going to put that on the inner corner. And then I'm going to go into Bubbly, and I'm going to carry that across the rest of the lid, which is a very light gold. I'm going to bring it out and over into that first color, that Kitten. I'm just sweeping that all over, all nice. Very bright, very light gold. If you're in the market for something simple that's gold, but nothing too, bam, deep, nothing like sort of antique gold or anything, this is a good one for. It's, I'd say on a whole, probably close to Urban Decay's Chase. So, if that's something you're looking for, very good for very light, sort of jazz everything up a little bit. Now I'm going to take a small crease brush. I'm going to go into that middle shade Bliss, which is sort of just right here, Bliss. It's a matte sort of transitional color. It's a light tan color. It's not like Buck, it's lighter than Buck from Urban Decay. I'd say it's probably like Tease, but less cool tone, more warm tone. I'm just going to put that in the crease all over. It's a shame that they discontinued this palette, because this palette really was nice in the way that it had, the perfect matte colors in it. It had the perfect transitional colors. It was a complete palette. I haven't tried the new palettes. Those look like they're complete too. It's just, I really favored these. Same thing, other eye, just, taking that color and putting it in the crease, blending out what I already have there. Going back over, making sure that, the color distribution is even, because you don't want one eye darker than the other. Now I'm going to go in with Sunset, which is that gorgeous sort of rosy gold color. And I'm just using that same small crease brush, and I'm picking some up and I'm putting that on that outer corner, pulling it up into the crease, blending it down onto the lid. Not really too specific with placement. I'm really just using this to sort of darken that outer crease up. And then I am going to blend it out, so I'm not too concerned with shape or placement or anything yet. So just really getting it on there, getting the depth, carrying it a little bit into the crease. Now I'm going to go back in with Tease and sort of blend that a little bit. Now I'm going to take a color not in that palette. I'm going to take MAC Fircracker, which was limited edition from last summer, summer before that, not sure. It's definitely similar to Urban Decay FreeLove, so just something, sort of pinky coral like this. And I'm going to take a fluffier crease brush. I'm just kind of patting and picking up just the minimal amount of product. And then I'm going to carry that around what I already have. Sort of just up. Sort of just adding like this diffused, sort of tropical sunset sort of look. And it probably looks really high up on the brow, but I'm going to use a highlight and blend it out, so I'm not too concerned. I'm going to use the matte Bear all the way over here, and then this is a MAC 224. I'm just picking up plenty of that, and I'm just swiping that all around. This was a nice matte color. Not necessarily what I usually go for my highlight. I like something a little bit cooler. Really specifically, I like Max Yogurt, but as I said, it is a complete palette, so having something that is usable in here is nice. And as you see, it's sort of diffusing and blending down that Fircracker so that it's not as stark or high up. It's all just a little softer, which is nice. And now, little trick if you're not happy with the outer area that I like to do is I like to just sort of blend up with a little highlighter. You could also take a little makeup remover to refine the shape if you wanted. Personally, I'm not too big on having like a dead, perfect line there. I mean, sometimes I will like that, but overall it's just not something I really like, having that stark sort of line. So, there we have the eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go in with my liner, and I'm going to be using MAC Royal Wink. And I'm going to take a angled eyeliner or angled brow brush. I'm using a MAC 266, which is a bit, you know, fuller. If you want a very precise thin line, I suggest going with something smaller than this, but for this type of look and this type of liner specifically, I think that this is going to be the best to get the result that I want. Now that looks like it's fairly coated, but this liner thins out, so may have to go back in, may not. Now I'm sort of just stamping this on because this color does sort of thin down. It is sort of one that can thin out, so you're going to want to stamp it versus press it. Creating a small wing, nothing too dramatic, just a little bit. And like I said, I'm stamping, that way I get the most out of that color. And there we have the finished eye. You know, if you want something more precise, you could, you know, put some tape and get a very stark line. You could even clean it up with a Q-tip. I'm not too specific. I'm wanting a very sharp, precise line with this. So I'm happy with this very slight wing. You could, you know, wing it up a little more. And depending on your eye shape, that'll play into it a little bit too. But, yeah, so there's Royal Wing. Was almost forgetting to finish off with Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. Can't, you know, complete the eye look without some mascara. This is probably one of my favorite mascaras. It really does a nice job of filling out the lashes and adding some length, which is always nice. You could take and do a blue mascara with this. You could even take and use Royal Wink as a mascara. But for the, you know, context of this, I want darker lashes so that that blue really pops and stands out more. So, there is the finished eye look. Now, my foundation is on through the magic of editing. And I'm going to contour a little bit today. Sometimes I contour, sometimes I don't. But today I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild contour palette and a Real Technique contour brush. And I've been playing with this a little bit, and this is decent. But it's sort of something I feel like I have to build up to the intensity that I want. And I'm not one that does a very stark contour, so for me to feel like I have to build it up, it means that it lacks a little bit of like pigmentation and stuff. So I'm really picking up product, whereas other products I just sort of tap into. And I'm just sort of doing like this, and then swirling it. I'm doing it in a kind of fast motion just because I'm used to doing it. So, but I am trying to, show you guys so that you can really fully see what I'm doing. And I'm happy with that level of contour. Next, I'm going to go into a blush, and I'm going to use one of the Urban Decay ones. I'm going to use Quickie. I'm going to use a Real Technique blush brush, and I'm just going to pat into that. These do tend to kick up excess product. It's something that I said in my review, but they do, and this one I find kicks up more than the other two. So it is something to note that they do, even with this patting motion, kick up excess product. And now see, it's very bright, but it can be used very softly. I wanted a little more than that, so I'm just going back in. I'm happy with that level. Something soft, nothing too out there. I do have some blue on the eyes, so I don't want to go too stark and bright with the cheeks. So, just want something that you can tell that there's a little something there, but not something super, super heavy. Going back and forth a little bit sometimes just to make sure that it's all even and all blended, but not really adding product. Yep. Now you could go into the highlight in this if you're following this tutorial step by step. It's kind of matte, it's a little more skin perfecting, but I want a little bit of shimmer, so I'm going to go in to the Balm Mary Luminizer, and I'm going to take a Real Technique setting brush, and I'm just going to tap in and then start at the inner part and sort of sweep it across. This is such a gorgeous highlight. I really love what this does to the skin. And voila, a little bit of glow, because you know the blush is relatively satin and matte, so adding the glow to it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, thanks for watching. Any questions, post them in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!